All right, Olivia, should America's resources be put into developing our own oil resources or researching more renewable alternatives?
I believe we should research more renewable alternatives because that way we're not dependent on oil and we're decreasing pollution. And in our budget, as liberals, we're putting in 33 billion into funding research and development for other forms of clean energy, like biofuels. And that's going to make us more green.
How can we decrease pollution in our industries, and is this a priority for our country?
I believe it's a priority because we're thinking about our future generations' health and safety. One way to decrease the pollution is to put tax caps on the factories and corporations. So basically, when they hit a certain level of pollution, they are taxed more. It encourages them to keep the pollution under the limit.
Did you support that measure as a senator?
I did.
What was the best way to provide health care to everyone in this country?
For health care, we're moving people from Medicare onto private health insurance with government support. So we're helping them pay for it. It's going to kick in for people turning 65, and we're capping the Medicare spending at plus 0.05%.
Shouldn't the wealthy take on an additional tax burden? They're the people that benefit most from our society and government. Shouldn't they also pay the most?
Well, that one's tricky, but we understand people work really hard for the income. We're planning on only taxing the moderately wealthy, and that tax is going to come out of their Social Security funds, which is basically people's spending money. It's not going to change their life in any way, usually.
How do we best address our growing national debt?
We are cutting our debt from 70.3% to 41%. We're cutting programs, and we're cutting the programs that aren't so necessary. But don't worry, because we're gonna make sure that most programs aren't going to be neglected, and we're increasing defense and diplomacy by $636 billion. So we're not cutting security, we're making sure people are being helped.
Don't spending cuts usually equate to a loss of the safety net?
Actually not. For our budget results, we achieved our safety net, and we're making sure it helps people in need. We were able to cut spending while keeping our safety net budget in place.
What's the most effective way to curb America's gun violence?
We're going to go over the regulations and make sure they're effective and not unnecessary. Make sure they actually help people in the gun weapons. And we're thinking about having an assault weapons like credentials, like you must have a certain background, proper background, or maybe military, we're not completely sure yet, to own an assault weapons, or maybe put in a ban.
Is the government's surveillance program necessary and legal?
Yeah, it's imperative that we continue our surveillance program because it protects us, and honestly, people that say it's invading their privacy is really not a big issue because, one, it's not looking at them unless something flashes in their information, and two, they shouldn't have anything to hide, and so they shouldn't be worried. If they had something to hide, that's when people start getting worried.
How can we get conservatives and liberals to better work together in Washington?
I think we both have to compromise, We're both interested in what we want, but if we can kind of head more towards the median, we should be able to move Congress along and help people out.
And what separates you from your opponent as a candidate?
I'm willing to work with the other side, and I'm willing to guide the American people. I'm trying to make this world better, not just trying to win.
Do you have a final statement?
I do. I'm interested in protecting our environment, finding renewable resources, keeping America safe, and making this country great. I plan on bringing America out of its national debt hole and making sure everyone, even the little guy, has equal rights.
Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.